The unexpected invitation, the signal that changed everything. Captain Elena Vasquez was reviewing morning reports when the impossible happened. Every screen in the Space Command Center went dark for exactly 3 seconds. When they flickered back to life, a new signal appeared on all monitors simultaneously. The signal was perfect, clean, and broadcasting in perfect English. Elena stared at the data streaming across her screen. In her 15 years of military service, she had never seen anything like this. The signal had bypassed every security system they had without triggering a single alarm. Whoever sent this message had technology that made Earth's most advanced systems look like stone tools. The message was simple but earth-shaking. Greetings, people of Earth. The Galactic Council has observed your species' recent achievements in space exploration and energy manipulation. You have reached a level of development that qualifies you for contact with the greater galactic community. A delegation of 5 representatives is invited to attend our primary station for formal evaluation and classification. Transportation will be provided. Please respond within 72 Earth hours. Elena called an emergency meeting with Earth's top leaders. Within hours, the world's greatest minds were debating humanity's response to this historic invitation. Dr. Marcus Chen, Earth's leading expert in xenobiology and linguistics, was fascinated by the aliens' word choice. They used the word classification, not welcome or invitation, he pointed out during the meeting. That suggests they already have a category in mind for us. Ambassador Sarah Thompson, who had spent 20 years negotiating international treaties, raised another concern. The tone is polite but formal. It reads like a summons to court rather than a friendly invitation. We need to be prepared for anything. Engineer Tom Bradley, the brilliant mind behind Earth's new fusion drives, was excited about the technological possibilities. Think about what we could learn from them. Their signal technology alone could revolutionize our communications. Agent Lisa Park, one of Earth's best intelligence officers, was more cautious. We should assume they know everything about us while we know nothing about them. That's a dangerous disadvantage. After hours of debate, the decision was made. Earth would send its best representatives to meet with the Galactic Council. The team was carefully chosen to represent humanity's greatest strengths. Elena would lead as the military representative. Dr. Chen would handle scientific and linguistic matters. Ambassador Thompson would manage diplomatic relations. Tom would evaluate their technology, and Lisa would gather intelligence about galactic society. Journey to the unknown. 3 days later, the promised transportation arrived. Elena and her team watched in amazement as a ship materialized in Earth's orbit. The vessel was unlike anything in human imagination. It seemed to be made of crystallized light that shifted colors as it moved. The ship was enormous, easily the size of a small city. Yet it moved with perfect grace through space. The alien ship sent a smaller craft to collect the human delegation. As they boarded, Elena noticed that everything was sized for beings much larger than humans. The corridors were wide enough for giants, and the ceiling was so high that their voices echoed when they spoke. During the journey, the humans tried to learn about their hosts, but the ship's computer systems were beyond their understanding. Tom spent hours studying the technology, but every device seemed to operate on principles that human science had never discovered. It's like trying to understand advanced mathematics when you only know basic arithmetic, he told the others. Dr. Chen attempted to communicate with the ship's systems, but received only automated responses that were polite but uninformative. They're treating us like tourists, he observed. Everything is pre-programmed to keep us comfortable, but prevent us from learning anything important. The journey took 2 days, during which the humans saw wonders that defied explanation. They passed through regions of space where the stars formed patterns like vast works of art. They witnessed planets that glowed with their own light and space stations that stretched for thousands of miles. Each sight reminded them of how small and isolated Earth had been. Arrival at the Council Station. When they finally arrived at the Galactic Council Station, Elena and her team were stunned into silence. The station was impossibly vast, a structure that seemed to contain entire worlds within its boundaries. Millions of lights twinkled across its surface, and countless ships of different designs flew in perfect patterns around its exterior. Their guide, a tall being with blue-scaled skin and forearms, introduced itself as Coordinator Vex. "Welcome to Central Station, the heart of galactic civilization," Vex said through a translation device that made its voice sound mechanical. "You are among the youngest species to receive this honor. Most civilizations require thousands more years of development before they are ready for contact." As they were escorted through the station's corridors, Elena noticed how other aliens looked at them. Some pointed and whispered, others barely glanced in their direction, but all seemed to view the humans as curiosities rather than equals. The message was clear without words. Humanity was considered primitive by galactic standards. Their quarters were comfortable but basic, located in a section of the station that Coordinator Vex explained was reserved for developing species. The rooms were clean and functional, but Elena noticed they were far from the station's main areas. "We're being kept separate," she told her team quietly, like children who aren't ready to sit at the adult table. Meeting the council members that evening, the humans were invited to a reception where they would meet other species. The great hall was filled with the most incredible variety of life forms Elena had ever imagined. Some aliens looked like walking plants, others resembled living crystals, and a few seemed to be made of pure energy contained in transparent suits. Each conversation followed a similar pattern. The aliens would ask basic questions about Earth, nod politely at the answers, and then make comments that revealed their assumption that humans were backward and primitive. A floating jellyfish-like creature told them, "How wonderful that you've discovered nuclear fusion so recently. Most species achieve that level much earlier in their development." A rock-like being mentioned, "Your planet must be quite dangerous to produce such aggressive tendencies. Don't worry, the Council has programs to help violent species learn peaceful ways." An alien that resembled a living flower said, "It's remarkable that a species without telepathic abilities has survived this long. You must struggle greatly to understand each other." Dr. Chen was busy analyzing every interaction, noting the patterns in how different species were treated. He observed that there was a clear hierarchy in the room. The most advanced species, beings of pure energy, floated near the center of attention. Powerful-looking aliens formed a ring around them. Smaller, more peaceful species stood further back. And at the very edges were the newest members, looking nervous and trying not to attract attention. "They have a rigid caste system," he whispered to Elena. "Everyone knows exactly where they belong in the social order." The hidden truth, while the others mingled at the reception, Lisa had been busy with her own mission. Using equipment that Tom had cleverly disguised as standard recording devices, she was monitoring the station's communication networks. What she discovered was disturbing. Late that night, she gathered the team in their secure quarters. "I've been listening to their private communications," she reported. "They're not planning to welcome us as equals. Tomorrow's ceremony is just for show. They've already decided to classify us as a restricted species." Lisa played back recordings of conversations between council administrators. "The humans show promise but are too primitive and aggressive for full membership," one voice said. "We'll allow them limited trade within their own solar system, but they cannot be permitted to expand beyond their home world. The containment protocols will begin after the ceremony." Elena felt anger rising in her chest. "They're planning to make us prisoners in our own solar system." Ambassador Thompson shook, her head in disbelief. "This isn't first contact, it's a sentencing hearing." Tom looked at the data Lisa had gathered. "They think they know everything about us, but they're wrong. We're not as primitive as they believe." Dr. Chen was studying the cultural patterns he had observed throughout the day. "They see us as children who need protection from ourselves. In their minds, they're being kind by restricting us." Elena made a decision that would change everything. "Tomorrow at the ceremony we're going to show them who we really are. We came here as equals and we're going to leave as equals." As the team prepared for the next day's ceremony, they knew they were about to face the most important moment in human history. The Galactic Council expected to announce humanity's place as a restricted, primitive species. Instead, they were about to discover that they had seriously underestimated the people of Earth. The night before the ceremony, Elena stood at the window of their quarters, looking out at the vast expanse of the station. Tomorrow would determine whether humanity would be free to explore the galaxy as equals, or trapped forever in their own solar system like animals in a zoo. She was determined to ensure it would be the former. The truth that changed everything. The ceremony begins. The formal council session took place in an amphitheater so vast that Elena could barely see the top levels. Thousands of different alien species filled the curved seating areas, arranged in the same hierarchical pattern she had observed at the reception. The most advanced beings floated at the highest levels, while newer species sat closer to the bottom. The humans were escorted to a small platform near the center of the amphitheater floor. Elena looked around and realized that every other species on the lower levels looked nervous and uncertain. These were the beings still being judged by the council, waiting to learn their fate. At the center of the vast space, a figure of incredible presence materialized. The being was tall and elegant, composed of shifting light that seemed to contain entire galaxies. When it spoke, its voice resonated from every direction at once. "I am Prime Consciousness Zara, voice of the Galactic Council," the being announced. "Today we welcome a new species to our community and determine their proper place among civilized worlds." Elena felt the weight of thousands of alien eyes upon her delegation. She straightened her shoulders and prepared for what was coming. "The species known as humans from the planet Earth have been evaluated according to our standard protocols," Prime Consciousness Zara continued. "We have studied their history, their technology, and their social development. Based on this analysis, we will now announce our decision regarding their classification." Ambassador Thompson started to stand, but Elena gestured for her to wait. She wanted to hear exactly what the council planned to say before responding. "Humans will be granted restricted membership in the Galactic Council," Zara announced. "Due to their aggressive nature and primitive technology, they will be permitted limited trade within their home solar system, but are prohibited from expansion beyond those boundaries. This classification is for their own protection and the safety of established galactic civilization." The amphitheater erupted in sounds of approval from most species. Elena saw a few aliens that looked sympathetic, but they were clearly in the minority. The message was clear. Humanity was being sentenced to permanent isolation, dressed up as protection and privilege. The moment of truth, Elena stood up slowly and walked to the center of their platform. Her voice carried clearly through the vast space as she spoke. "We respectfully decline your offer." The amphitheater fell completely silent. Elena could hear her own heartbeat in the sudden quiet. "Prime Consciousness." Zara's light flickered with what might have been confusion. "I'm sorry," Zara said slowly. "Did you say you decline our generous offer?" "That's correct," Elena replied firmly. "We refuse your terms of restricted membership. What you're offering isn't membership at all. It's a prison sentence." The silence stretched for several more seconds. Then the amphitheater exploded into chaos. Aliens were shouting, clicking, buzzing, and making sounds Elena had never heard before. Some were rising from their seats, others were pointing at the humans in apparent shock. "Silence!" Zara's voice boomed through the space, and every alien immediately stopped talking. "No species has ever refused council authority. You do not understand the consequences of your words." Dr. Chen joined Elena at the center of the platform. "We understand perfectly. You want to make us prisoners in our own solar system. That's not protection, that's imprisonment." A booming voice came from the military section of the amphitheater. "You dare challenge the council's authority? Your species lacks the power to make demands." Tom Bradley stood up and activated a small device he had been carrying. "Actually, we'd like to share some information that might interest the council." Before any alien could react, holographic displays appeared throughout the amphitheater. The images showed scenes from space, but not what the aliens expected. Instead of primitive, humans struggling with basic technology, the displays revealed something extraordinary. The great revelation. The displays showed human ships operating in deep space, far beyond Earth's solar system. The ships were sleek and advanced, using technology that most council species would recognize as highly sophisticated. But more importantly, the images showed these ships helping other species in need. "We've been busy while you've been watching us," Lisa Park announced as she joined her teammates. "For the past 5 years, human vessels have been operating throughout the galaxy. Not as invaders or conquerors, but as helpers." More displays appeared showing human teams working alongside various alien species. In one image, human engineers were helping to repair a massive space station that was failing. In another, human medical teams were treating a plague that had been devastating an entire world. Dr. Chen activated his own device and new information appeared on the displays. "We've been monitoring galactic communications for decades. We know about the crisis in the Outer Rim colonies. We know about the energy shortage affecting 3 entire sectors. We know about the dimensional rifts that are threatening the core worlds." The amphitheater buzzed with shocked whispers. Several aliens in the engineering sections were staring at the displays with expressions of amazement. "The failing colonies in the Outer Rim have been stable for 2 years now," Tom announced. Human engineering teams identified the problem with their life support systems and provided a solution. The colony's administrators never knew who helped them. Ambassador Thompson stepped forward. "The plague affecting the crystalline worlds has been contained. Human medical researchers developed a treatment that works with the species' natural biology instead of fighting against it. The cure was delivered anonymously to prevent political complications." Elena looked up at Prime Consciousness Zara. "The dimensional rifts near the core worlds have been sealed using techniques that human physicists developed. Our teams have been working in secret to prevent catastrophic damage to inhabited systems." The network revealed Lisa activated another device, and the display showed a vast network of communications spanning the galaxy. "This is the Emergency Response Network," she explained. "For 5 years, human teams have been monitoring distress signals throughout the galaxy and responding to crises that Council bureaucracy couldn't handle quickly enough." The display showed dozens of examples. Human ships arriving at disaster sites within hours instead of weeks. Human scientists providing solutions to problems that had puzzled alien researchers for centuries. Human engineers fixing critical systems, while Council committees were still debating jurisdiction. "Every time we helped, we made sure to remain invisible," Elena continued. "We didn't want credit or recognition. We wanted to help because it was the right thing to do." Dr. Chen addressed the shocked Council directly. "You assumed we were primitive because we developed differently than you did. But different doesn't mean inferior. Human science approaches problems from angles that your established methods missed." Tom pulled up technical specifications that made several aliens gasp in recognition. The energy distribution improvements that saved 6 space stations from total failure, human engineering, the breakthrough in faster-than-light communication that revolutionized your military coordination, human physics, the medical advances that have saved millions of lives across 12 different species, human research, the power shift prime consciousness. Zara floated in stunned silence, its light pulsing rapidly as it processed what it was learning. Around the amphitheater, aliens were having urgent conversations with their neighbors. The entire hierarchy of the Council was being turned upside down. "You've been helping us without asking for anything in return," said a voice from the crystalline species section. "Why?" Elena looked toward the voice. "Because it was the right thing to do. When we see someone in trouble, we help. That's what civilized beings do." A military commander from the upper levels spoke up. "Your species has capabilities that exceed many established Council members. Why did you allow us to believe you were primitive?" Ambassador Thompson answered. "We wanted to see how you would treat a species you considered inferior. Your reaction told us everything we needed to know about your character." "We had hoped," Dr. Chen added, "that the Galactic Council was truly about cooperation and mutual respect. Instead, we found a system based on superiority and control." Elena addressed the entire assembly. "We don't want to be your protected children or your restricted members. We want to be your partners, real partners, working together as equals to solve the challenges facing all of us." A new beginning. The amphitheater erupted in discussions as different species debated among themselves. Elena could see that opinions were divided. Some aliens were angry at being deceived. Others were impressed by human capabilities, and many seemed confused by this unprecedented situation. Prime consciousness. Zara raised its form, calling for silence. This is unprecedented, it admitted. The Council must consider this new information carefully. While you're considering, Elena said, we'll continue doing what we've been doing, helping where we're needed, solving problems where we can, and treating all species with the respect they deserve. Dr. Chen added, the offer for true partnership remains open. When you're ready to treat us as equals instead of children, we'll be here. As the humans prepared to leave the amphitheater, hundreds of aliens approached them. Representatives from species across the galaxy wanted to thank them for the help they had provided, to offer partnerships, and to learn more about human methods and philosophy. The crystalline being whose people had been saved from plague spoke directly to Dr. Chen. Your cure saved millions of my people. We had given up hope, but human science found a way. How can we ever repay this debt? No debt is needed, Chen replied. Helping each other is what neighbors do. Elena looked back at Prime Consciousness. Zara one final time. When you're ready to discuss true partnership between equals, you know how to reach us. Until then, we'll be out there in the galaxy, doing what we've always done, helping where we're needed and standing up for what's right. As the human delegation left the great amphitheater, they were surrounded by representatives from dozens of species, all eager to establish direct relationships with Earth. The Galactic Council's age of superior attitudes and restricted memberships was ending. A new era of true cooperation was beginning, and humanity had earned its place not through submission or restriction, but through demonstrated worth and unwavering principles. The galaxy would never be the same.